Well, the cat is out of the bag. It is out in the public domain already that the President Ruto, has nominated Professor Kithure Kindiki, the CS of Interior, to be the next Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya after the now former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was impeached yesterday night. And this is not coming as a surprise because many had already seen that Kithure Kindiki holds the stature of becoming the deputy president, as well as Kithure Kindiki had already been proposed by a number of members of parliament that he will be the best fit next person to be the deputy president should Gachagua. Right then, as people had purported that if Gachagua will be impeached, then Kithure Kindiki would have be the better person to hold the office of the deputy president. And that has come to pass, and the president has nominated Kithure Kindiki to be the next deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. But the question that many people are asking is why the president would choose Kithure Kindiki while there were other candidates who would also fit in the position of deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. The president had the choice to make anyone the deputy president, literally, because he was appointing. The president had a variety of choices, including Musalia Mudavadi, Gladys Wanga, Waiguru, and even Irungu Kangata, people who have been, or names that have been fronted recently, that they could also be of that stature to fit to be deputy president in the Republic of Kenya. Well, the reason as to why the president opted for Kithure Kindiki to become the deputy president is one, because Kithure Kindiki is coming from Mount Kenya. Well, I understand that Anne Waiguru will come from Mount Kenya, Irungu Kangata will come from Mount Kenya, Kimani Ichung'wah will come from Mount Kenya. But there is a specific reason as to why the president will choose Kithure Kindiki as opposed to all these other contenders who would also fit the bill to become deputy president. The first reason is Kithure Kindiki comes from the eastern side of Mount Kenya. And that makes it a whole vote-rich region that has, for quite some time, been voting for the opposition. We know that Raila Odinga has a foothold in Meru and Tharaka Nithi, and these counties have been basically dividing the votes half to half, depending on whoever goes there and campaigns well. So that was a vote-rich basket or region that had not yet been exploited fully by the virtue of having a leader to the stature of the office of the presidency, that is the deputy president or the president of the republic. So the president has made history in tapping to that region by making Kithure Kindiki the deputy president, the second in command. That is a very high office, and that is an office that Kithure Kindiki will seek now to solidify the votes of the eastern Mlima Kenya, to make sure that now all those people who are in the eastern part of the region will now vote under one basket. They have been dividing it half to half, but now it is possible for them to put all their votes in one basket under the leadership of Kithure Kindiki, because all this is political, because the president has to make the calculations, regardless of the fact that the president also has to look at the administrative part, of which I'm going to discuss as well. The president will have to also focus on re-election. You know that this is his first term. So any move that President Ruto makes right now has to be calculative of the fact that he will be seeking a re-election 2 years and some few months from now. And that person who will be his 2IC, his second in command, will have to be a person who will support him fiercely to get the numbers that he needs. We know that the president now has moved from Western Mount Kenya to Eastern Mount Kenya. And by the look of things is that the name of Kithure Kindiki has largely been accepted by many Kenyans. Just by watching local media stations and people getting interviewed different parts of the country, you could tell that Kithure Kindiki has been accepted. by the virtue of the calm that is in the country right now, the virtue of people going on their businesses as usual, just points to the fact that people have accepted the fact that one, Gachagua is now out of office, and two, that Kithure Kindiki is now going to be the holder of the office of the deputy president, a high calling in the Republic of Kenya. So the first factor that the president politically had to look into is, will this decision give me votes? And it is possible because, as per the interviews as I've just quoted that I have gone through different media stations, even people from Nyeri County are saying that, yeah, we might be a little bit upset because Rigathi Gachagua has been removed from power, but we are okay with the fact that this position has come back to Mount Kenya. And that is a very important factor that now made the president not to focus on someone like Musalia Mudavadi, although very capable, very able to be in that position. He was a vice president before and could have articulated that role perfectly well, but the president didn't want to make that huge a gamble. Already, by focusing on Eastern Mount Kenya, the president has already made some level of gambling, but now leaving the entire mountain region to a whole new different region will be a very huge gamble by the president of the Republic of Kenya, because we know that our voting patterns are usually regional. So the president had to make sure that he remains relevant in the mountain region, as well as trying to calm the entire nation into the fact that there is a new dispensation coming in and that he's listening to the people and the cries that the people had about negative ethnicity, about utterances that were not presidential by the office of the president or the deputy president, that now has been solved and something is happening to that effect. So that was the major consideration why the president had to pick Kithure Kindiki. He had some leeway to wiggle around the different regions, that is either Western or Eastern Mount Kenya, but he didn't have the luxury to move out of the entire region. That will have caused a lot of political upheavals from the mountain. They will have a course to come at the president, but right now they really don't have that much of a cause to agitate against the presidency, because that position literally has, in one way or another, been returned to them. So it might be a different holder, but the position has been returned to them. And that is how now the political heat has, to some extent, calmed down in the country, and people are easily accepting the new deputy president that will be confirmed. If he will be confirmed with the National Assembly, that will be Kithure Kindiki. And lastly, in administrative terms, we know that the president will have to consider, because it is not only political. It is a matter of, you are in office, what did you do when you were seeking re-election? So the matter of administrative leadership also had to be factored in, and that is why Kithure Kindiki was given very important dockets, interior, a very important docket, and he managed the interior docket very well. And during the maandamano and even after, Kithure Kindiki has maintained his stature at the interior docket, and that perhaps was the test of Kithure Kindiki. If he can manage that, then he can manage the office of the deputy president, and his performance in the CS interior has now elevated him to be the deputy president, the nominee of the deputy president after Gachagua has been ousted. So these are the reasons as to why the president didn't choose Waiguru, because all the corruption allegations that Governor Waiguru has, well, they might not be substantiated, but in politics, such a smear can really cause a lot of damage in the person of even the nominator. That is the president himself. If he could have nominated Anne Waiguru, he will have to face all these allegations that might not be true, but they will still hurt his campaign. They will still hurt his presidency. Something else is that he will have chosen maybe Kimani Ichung'wah, but Kimani Ichung'wah is a very, very good whip as we've seen in Parliament and really did a good job, unless the president will want him out of Parliament, because the president really relies also on Parliament and he needs very eloquent, very good people in Parliament, the likes of Ndindi Nyoro. We've not been seeing Ndindi Nyoro very active in this matter, but we've seen Kimani Ichung'wah coming out very, very vocal about this issue. The president needs very elaborate lieutenants in the Parliament, and that is why perhaps Kimani Ichung'wah might remain in Parliament as the majority leader, because his task is very, very important. Remember, without him being at the position of the majority leader, without him being able to make his case against Rigathi Gachagua, perhaps will not even be here right now. So maybe the huge task has been passed. Maybe there will be no such an issue in Parliament that will require such oomph as Kimani Ichung'wah's, and maybe Kimani Ichung'wah will be now appointed to be the CS Interior as gratitude by the president over what he has done with this entire campaign, because we know that an impeachment is not only legal, it is also political, and that is why you had all these sides arguing differently against the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. So these are the reasons as to why Kithure Kindiki has been appointed, and this is the reason as to why the president has settled on Kithure Kindiki. And lastly, it is because he was already presumed to be the deputy president of William Ruto. And we know how that story goes. I've done the previous video from this. I explained why Kithure Kindiki was very important even during the time when Ruto wanted to pick a running mate, and that Kithure Kindiki's name was really fronted. Kithure Kindiki really won the hearts of many who could have easily said that Kithure Kindiki was the person to be chosen as the deputy president, but Rigathi Gachagua took the day. And for that matter, we can easily say that Kithure Kindiki was simply a deputy president in waiting. Whether it will have come right now, as it has through an impeachment, or whether it will have come 2.5 years from now during the elections, Kithure Kindiki was simply a deputy president in waiting, and that has come to pass.